Hey, Alan Barnowski here, and today I've got a version of Sally Ann. This is in an OpenG tuning, which makes it a lot of fun to play. I'm just going to kind of jump right in and play this so you get a sense of what it sounds like. Then afterwards, I'll talk a little bit about how to get comfortable with this tuning and some tips about playing this tune. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right, so this version of Sally Ann comes from a guy named Dudley Hill. This is a transcription from Dudley Hill's recording from the mid-1970s on a record From a Northern Family. This album is out of print. It was put out on a small Washington label, but you can find it on YouTube. So, search it, take a listen to it, take a listen to this tune. It's a lovely recording. Dudley Hill records it as a duet with banjo, clawhammer banjo, and it's really cool that way. But as you can tell, it also works as a standalone guitar tune. So that's kind of our focus today. Talking about OpenG tuning. This is really fun to play, in this flat picking style, this fiddle tune flat picking style. As you can tell, we've got a capo on the 3rd fret, but I'm just going to continue to talk about it like we're in G. It just makes it a little bit easier to talk about. So first, to get into this tuning, you take your low E string and tune it down a step to D, and you can use your 4th string D as a reference to get that into tune. You take your 5th string A, tune that down a step into G. You can use your 3rd string as a reference. There we go. And then your top string E also gets tuned down to D, and you can use your 4th string D as a reference. If you're tuning into this tuning by ear, you'll notice that some of your open strings that are not retuned might fall out of tune a little bit. So you might have to kind of move things around. That's because the tension of the guitar is going down. So it just messes with the strings a little bit. So you might have to fiddle a little bit to get it in tune. Electric tuner is always nice for that. So, now that we're at OpenG, there are a few things we can think about. One of them is that anything you do on this D string here, let's say we do this, you can also do that on this D string. And this one. So on those, I'm playing frets 2, 4, and 5. Same thing on the G strings. Anything you do on one G string, you can do on the other. On that one, I'm still playing frets 2, 4, and 5. So that kind of takes a lot of the guesswork on those major scale notes. G major scale, frets 2, 4, and 5 for any of those 5 strings. Not the B string. We'll get there in one second. But anything you do there is gonna work. Ann takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, right? As for that B string, the second string, that's going to be frets 1 and 3. What makes this really fun is that you can do any of these fretted notes, these G scale notes, and have open ringing strings. And it usually sounds pretty good. It's a really cool effect of these open tunings. So that's getting you through the G scale. Next, let's take a look at a few chords. That's G, of course, just, your open G. If you want to play a C chord, you use your standard C shape and then lift up your third finger and place that on the second fret of the first string. There's your C. And that's going to be across the top 5 strings. So just like C in standard position, we're not using this low E string. As for a D chord, take your standard D shape and lift up on your second finger, and then play the top 4 strings. And that's your D. There's no third in that, but that's okay. If you wanted to play across all 6 strings, you could just shift your fingering a little bit, and then use your first finger on the second fret of the 5th string. And there's your D. G, C, D, G. So that alone gives you a lot of options to things just to play around with, It's pretty fun, right? So that should get you into OpenG and some stuff to start messing around with. I'm sticking into this, first, second position area because I love the open strings. I love those open ringing notes. The magic of these open tunings, in my view, comes from this position. You could figure out some stuff further up the neck, but I just love the sound of it down here. So there you go. As far as Sally Ann goes, something to think about is where the melody is. So we've got, I think that's in bar 2, that thing. The melody there is really, I'll do that again. The way it's in the transcription, the way Dudley Hill plays it, is more like this. So even though you're strumming through these, that melody is really important. One thing you can do is just find ways to bring out that melody. So one way I like to bring it out is to, on that little, I like to play rest stroke. So you play the 4th string, followed by the 3rd string, but then on the 3rd string, that pushes through and lands on the 2nd string. And what that does is it gives this note a little bit more of an emphasis. And then when you follow that up, same thing, just kind of more emphasis on this. It's kind of tough to do. But anyway, that's really the idea here. So as you're working through Sally Ann, just even through the sections where there's chords, just ask yourself, where is that melody? And what can I do to bring that melody out? One other idea for bringing out the melody is the first time through, kind of lay off the chord parts. So next time through, add in a little bit more of those open ringing chords. you know, the transcription has those open ringing chords, and that's how Dudley Hill plays it. But you know, a common thing to do in these types of tunes is that, you know, the first time through, second time through, really just stick close to the melody, and then as you do it more and more times, you can start to break away from it. You know, from a listener, the listener will remember what the melody is supposed to be like. So if you really kind of hit that hard the first, second time through, then you can start to deviate from it a little bit as you move forward. So yeah, that's Sally Ann. I love playing this tune. I hope you do too. If you have any questions, please let me know. My name's Alan Barnoski. You can find my website and shoot me an email through that. Last of all, I would like to just share myself and my friend Joseph DeCosimo, who's a great banjo player. We got together and did this as a duet. So you can kind of hear this more in the style that Dudley Hill played it on the recording. So I'm just going to end with that. Enjoy, and good luck playing this tune.